Welcome to Mornings with the Mayor. Boy, do we have a show for you today, a very special show. We have some of our community partners here today to talk about a fundraiser, and certainly to my left, your right, is Merrill Reese, the voice of the Eagles, is here today. Merrill, good to have you here.
I am happy to be here.
And certainly to my left is, or my right actually, to your left out there, we have Jan Weiss.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jan. Jan is, we're going to talk today about a fundraiser at Tifereth, Israel, that's coming up. And they do this every year. It's a phenomenal auction. And actually, Merrill will be there, and we'll get to talk about it, both sides of here. Jan, we'll talk about it. Jan, you are the financial vice president, is that correct?
I am.
And certainly chair of the Ways and Means Committee.
Yes, I am.
Correct? So all of you know out there what that means. That means money.
It means that's my job. Find money.
That's the job, is money. So we're going to get started today. I don't have to tell you what Merrill does with the voice of the Eagles, and certainly with an up-and-coming season. We'll try to get a little bit of football in there today as we go along. But I just want to open it up with you, John. Tell us about the auction, what's coming up, the importance of it to the community. This is not something just for Tifereth Israel, it's for our community. And then we'll get to Merrill in a couple seconds.
The auction is called Touchdown for Tots. It's to benefit the Judy Sayer Nursery School Scholarship Fund, which is at Tifereth, Israel. The nursery school was established over 20 years ago. We serve the community, over 100 children. It's a non-sectarian nursery school, so we've got all different kinds of kids at our school. They're not all Jewish. We would say out of 100 and some kids, only 50 of them come from Jewish homes, and we serve the entire community. We have a state-of-the-art facility. We offer daycare from 9 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. And I think the biggest compliment one can say for our school is we've heard from kindergarten and first grade teachers at the area Ben Salem schools that comment on how well our kids are prepared when they enter the school district. So we really do service the community, and it's a much needed educational facility and one we're very proud of.
And I've had the opportunity to work with you for many years at Tifereth over there through the years, and it's been a great community, like I said, partnership with what's done for our community.
It's a fun place, and there's a lot of happy times in there.
Let's get and talk to Merrill a little bit here. Merrill, certainly, like I say, everybody knows your background, but I'm not so sure they know all about your background. They probably know you're an avid golfer also, but you do a lot of charity work.
I do, and that's just part of it. I love what I do, and I always feel that all of us who are fortunate to be in this field, whether it's an athlete or whether it's a broadcaster, have an obligation to give something back. We have those jobs that are glamorous and they're fun, and we're very, very fortunate to be able to go to work and do something that is fun. And if we can make a positive influence, a positive impact on people around us, that's what we're supposed to do.
And you do that, and this is not the first time you're doing this one.
No, I was there last year.
Yes, you were there last year.
And they even want me back.
Well,
We have requests.
Incidentally, Merrill will be there, and you actually sit down and answer some questions.
I do.
I was there last year, so we're telling you exactly the way this works, and you might even get to auction something off.
Oh, I do the auction. I actually do the auction.
We'll be up there auctioning, and I had a great time at the evening there. So if you get an opportunity, come out, and again, it's on Sunday, April 29th, and it starts, the preview begins at 6:30, and the auction starts at 7. And there's a lot of great items that they're auctioning off, and I'll let you talk a little bit about it, John. But I know there's something here. I noticed a $20 patrons tailgate party begins at 5. Maybe you started that because I don't know if many people know about that, Ed.
Well, when we started the auction, and we were fortunate enough to get Merrill the last go around, then the name Touchdowns for Tots evolved because of Merrill. So we're thrilled that he's joining us again this year, and then we continue with Touchdowns for Tots. But we do open the doors at 5 o'clock for a private, what we call a patrons tailgate party. And we serve tailgate food, and there are certain items that are just available for auction to the patrons that attend. And there's a lot of question and answer time with Merrill just with the patrons. So it's a fun, smaller scale private party where the patrons have the opportunity to meet Merrill, eat, and get a chance to bid on some great items.
Will you be there for the tailgate party?
I will.
You will?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that. That starts, what did we say, 5
o'clock?
5 o'clock. What a great opportunity, really, to be there to talk to Merrill. And just switch gears just a little bit.
Sure, I wouldn't miss my tuna hoagie and chips.
No, but let's just talk a wee bit about our Eagles.
Sure.
I want to talk about that. Certainly, I don't get the opportunity to talk to you that often about it, but certainly being an Eagles fan and John, season ticket holder and everything, we're expecting, I am anyway, big things this season, and new acquisition, certainly D'Amico Ryan in the middle back there. It's something they needed. So,
I think that's good.
So just tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I think we're right now coming off of the most disappointing season I've ever seen the Eagles have in all these years, because they, the year before in 2010, as you know, they were one pass away from beating the Green Bay Packers, which were the team that went on to win the Super Bowl. And they go in, they add all these great players. They add Nnamdi Asomugha, who was the best defensive back in the league. They add Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, and they bring in Vince Young to back up Michael Vick, and they bring in Colin Jenkins, who's a great defensive lineman, and Ronnie Brown to give them depth at running back. And you have all of these additions, and splat. I mean, they had a miserable season, and they know it, and they're unhappy about it. But that happens in the National Football League. I mean, there was a point last year where the Giants, in the middle of the season, forgot how to win. And you will remember the Eagles beating the Giants on that Sunday night at the Meadowlands, and the Giants looked like the last team that was going to find its equilibrium and go on and win the Super Bowl.
That hurts more than anything. The Giants win the Super Bowl. That hurt more than anything.
But they did. They came back strongly. They made the plays. Eli Manning had a tremendous season. They probably got the best defensive player of the year in Jason Pierre-Paul, and everything fit together. And it took a heroic drive and a great pass and a great catch by Mario Manningham. And here are the Giants with their second Lombardi trophy under Tom Coughlin, and the Eagles are still saying, maybe someday.
Well, I'm not losing hope. I think that this...
Well, I'm not either, and that's why I'm saying that as we sit here in April, there's a lot that has to be done in free agency, in the draft, in training camp, getting together. You need a healthy Michael Vick. I'm a big Michael Vick fan. I have never seen a guy change his life more totally. I mean, he has really made amends for his problems, and he is the most dedicated guy I've ever seen. He's the first guy in the morning, last guy to leave. He goes over game tape. He really works, but he has to stay healthy. Michael Vick, in a spectator's role, is not going to help this team. So I think he has to be a little more judicious when he runs. Get out of bounds or take the dive. Don't get hit. You don't want him challenging linebackers with his ribs, or get rid of the ball sooner. They need a healthy Michael Vick. That's a key.
Well, you know, McNabb for many years, I think they tried to teach him also, Merrill, because he was taking some hits there in the beginning, and he did become more of a pocket passer.
Yeah.
But I think and I think you're right. But McNabb was a lot bigger than what Vick.
Much bigger, probably 40 pounds heavier.
Much taller.
Yeah, just a bigger frame. Never as fast. And I still think Michael Vick has the best arm I've ever seen. I mean, a flick of that left wrist, and that's a missile.
Yeah. Well, we get to the auction. You get to talk to Merrill one-on-one.
You also get a chance to bid on some tickets for an Eagles game.
One thing I might add, that not that I'm such a bargain, but you get me on August the 29th. Now,
April 29th.
I mean, April the 29th.
Right after.
That's the preseason schedule. But on April the 29th, so on the 26th, which is Thursday night, I am doing the TV anchoring of the Eagles draft. So it's the 26th is Thursday night, the first round, 27th is the second round, and third round, and then Saturday I'm there all day anchoring the TV coverage on the Eagles internet of all the draft choices. So on Sunday night, I will be coming in right after the draft, and we'll have so much to talk about.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
What a night
that was perfect timing. We checked the draft schedule before we scheduled the auction. We did.
John, I want to come back to you. There's a lot of gifts that people can bid on, a lot of merchandise.
We now have over $10,000 worth of merchandise up for auction, and we have not finished accumulating everything that there will be that night.
Let me interrupt you. Anybody out there that wants to donate something for the auction, there's still time.
Drop it off at the synagogue, give us a
Still
call, we'll
time,
be happy
yeah.
to pick it up and put together in a wonderful package.
Sorry to interrupt you. Go
No
ahead.
problem. We've got family packages, there's passes for Giggleberry Fair, Sesame Place, the Academy of Natural Science, there's adult-only things, there's things in New York, Top of the Rock at Rockefeller Center, Manhattan Sail, a twilight cruise around Manhattan, packages for Dangerfield's Comedy Club in New York City. We've got locally Bristol Riverside Theater, gift certificates to Waterworks Restaurant in the city. Any moms out there, or I shouldn't say moms, just into scrapbooking, we have a $300 donation from a company called Stamp Up of all the supplies you need to do your scrapbooking. Tickets to Dutch Wonderland, Skate Zone, Brunswick, and lots of local restaurants. And we even involved our nursery school families this year. Each classroom's going to make up a basket based on a theme. So one is pool time, one is bath time, one's called Puppy Love, where it's all pet products, coffee and tea for the parents, wine and cheese. Lots of silent auction items, live auction items, no opening bids. Phillies tickets to a fireworks game. Eagles tickets.
How do you remember all this?
Because I've been doing a good bringing it home, logging it in, and putting it away. Eagles tickets, Phillies tickets, and I think one of our most exciting things is dinner with you.
Oh, that for 4.
Why don't you tell us about
Not
it?
dinner with me so much, but you'll get to either one of 2 restaurants that they choose here in Benton, La Chena, or up at the one north of Street Road. Toscana.
Thank you.
Toscana, which I go to. Here I am looking for the name, and I've been there many times. But anyhow, Toscana, which is a great Italian restaurant also, and 4 people. So
You can't buy dinner with the mayor.
anything on the menu. So we're going to have some fun, and folks bid on that. I hope you do it for the right reasons. As Merrill said, give back to the community. That's what we do.
And it really is a fun night. It really
Oh,
is.
it is.
It's for the good of the preschool, and it's great, but it's also just a fun night.
It is. I can't wait. I really
It
can't.
is, you know, we said there's a lot of work that goes into it, but a lot of love. And like Merrill said, we are all giving back. Over the course of the last 10 years, we have given away close to $250,000 in scholarship money for the nursery school, and it's because of the auction and your donations and Merrill's time that really makes us do
Well,
it.
and I also said, I know Frank told me this year 25,000 already in a reduction in tuition.
Yes,
Is that-
$25,000.
Yeah. This year
Benefited
alone.
12 families and 15 children.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
a lot.
Wow. And do you have scholarships that go with this?
It is all need-based,
All
and that's what this
need-based.
goes to help offset the scholarships.
Let me have an advertisement. You know, the mayor's scholarship, I have the Joe D. Drama scholarship. That's coming up. All you out there, you have to live in Ben Salem. You can go to any other school, but you have to live in Ben Salem. So high school is for college. So your teachers and your counselors, ask them fill out an application, and we'd love to get all these kids involved. There's nothing like education. I mean, it's what we're all about.
That's what it is all about.
That's what we're all about, and certainly in both of your cases, I'm sure your education helped get you where you're at. Without that, I don't think. And you're a veteran too.
Well, it was a naval officer.
Yeah. So, you know, incidentally, another advertisement. May 19th here, we're having with the Bucks County, we're hosting here for all the veterans. We're welcoming home the Iraqi and Afghanistan veterans, and it's a big day of everything. We're having a job fair and everything. So that's May 19th for veterans. Remember that, it's being advertised all over, and we'll do a show on that. I know you told us about everything that's going to be auctioned off.
Not everything, but a little bit.
You told me a lot, goodness sakes. And we want to. I'm really interested in this patrons tailgate, because you didn't have this before.
Yeah,
did
we
you?
did.
Did you?
That's what Merrill got his tuna hoagie.
Last year.
Yeah, that's where you got the tuna hoagie for. Incidentally, Senator Thompson will be there.
Yes.
And Representative Jean D. Drama will be there. We're going to have a full house, as always. And is there anything you want to add? that
I
we
would
should
love
know?
for Merrill to talk about some of the other things besides dinner with you that we can't buy. He's donated some items that
Yeah, sure.
you can't buy anywhere else.
Well, just a couple of things. We have, as you know, I'm over at WBCB, which is our Bucks County radio station, and I'm Vice President and General Manager. And it's interesting. I've put together a CD that we auction off, and that CD contains some of the best plays that we've ever been around.
Oh, wow.
The actual calls. And I'll give you I'll play a little game with you. What would you think would be the most, in all of the years, now I've been broadcasting the Eagles, this is my 102 seasons, but 77 is really my first year, so this will be my 36th, I can't believe it. I started when I was 14. But of all these years, the most incredible play occurred on November 19th, 1978.
Is that the Miracle of Meadowlands?
That's the Miracle of
The first one. The first one.
That would be it.
Yeah, I got one right. Yeah.
Okay, so that is on the CD.
How about that? That's got to be cool to hear that.
Then there would be, to me, at the time, the single most meaningful moment that the Eagles were involved in. I will give you the date. January 11th, 1980, bitterly cold day at Veterans Stadium.
It's a playoff game.
Yeah,
Against,
That was the year we went to the Super Bowl.
yeah.
It was in the first quarter, and it was the Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship game, and Ron Jaworski spun around and he took the ball into the belly of number 31, Wilbert Montgomery, as he exploded on the left side between Jerry Sizemore, or the right side between Jerry Sizemore and Woody Peoples, and headed for that end zone. We all knew that the Eagles were going to go to the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl itself was very forgettable.
I was there for that one.
But that was the moment. So that is on that tape. Among some of the other plays you might recall, Jaworski to Quick, 99 yards.
Yeah.
Do you remember who it came against?
No.
Was it Giants?
Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, Falcons.
In overtime at the Vet, 99 yards.
90. I remember the play.
Yeah.
With the
He
Falcons.
split the Falcons' defensive backs, Scott Case and Bobby Butler. I can still remember that. I can still remember it like it was yesterday. Give you another one. Punt return against the New York Jets. Weiss, where that's the one where he ran into the end zone and started punching, punching the goal.
Yeah.
We have that. That is on there. And
Did you have Jackson running back, not going into the end zone right away?
that was
recent.
That was December 19th, 2010.
Oh, boy.
At the Meadowlands.
Wow.
And that, to me, to this day, is my favorite. That's
Yeah.
that's my favorite moment. Maybe because it's so close, but that game was such a mess. I mean, I remember saying late in the first half, the score is the Giants 17, the Eagles are still at their hotel. I mean, that's how bad it was. And sure enough, they came back, and Vic hit Brent Selleck over the middle for a 64-yard touchdown. And then they kicked off, and they went with an onside kick. And Akers put it up there, and Riley Cooper got under it, and they recovered. And they marched down again, and Vic marched them downfield and ran in for a touchdown. They came down again, and Vic found Jeremy Macklin just inside the left pylon, and he sidestepped the man. And as they went for the extra point and scored it, that stadium that had been roaring earlier was so silent you could hear a pin drop. And I said to Mike Quick, and we were in a commercial break, I said, I don't care what happens when they go to overtime, the Giants are dead. I mean, this Giants team is so deflated right now, and they didn't even have to go to overtime because the Eagles' defense finally held the Giants. And then the Giants punter, Matt Dodge, I always think of him now, his name is Poor Matt Dodge. Poor Matt Dodge went back to punt, and Deshaun Jackson looked up, and he bobbled it. He muffed it, and he reached down, and he picked it up, and he took one step back, and he started to go forward, and it was almost as if the Giants became the Red Sea, and they parted, and Jason Avant leveled a man downfield, and Deshaun ran up the middle, and then he started dancing. And I said, I don't care if he leaps, I don't care if he jumps.
Get in there.
And finally he got in there, and the Eagles won that game, and it was just
That
incredible.
was a memorable game.
What a game.
Yeah, that's a memorable
Since
one.
then, we've been waiting.
We'll keep waiting.
Well, Jackson, that's might be a good story. He's got himself a
Long-term contract, and I'm glad he's back because he's a great player.
Oh, he is. He is.
Yes.
He certainly
Dick
is.
Vermeil used to say, you can't teach speed. You can't teach speed, and you can't grow an arm. You take a quarterback with an average arm, he'll always have an average arm. You find a back who's got average speed, he'll always have average speed. I once said to Dick Vermeil about Wilbert Montgomery, who was great, I said, who's responsible for the way this guy's playing? And Dick looked at me and he said, his mother and father. Because that's innate. You can't teach that. Michael Vick was born to be a great athlete. I mean, he has those physical skills. You can't teach that. You can refine them. You can teach a player to be savvy and to be able to read defenses and to do certain fundamentally sound things, but that great ability that you see in a Vic, that great receiving ability, when you watch somebody like Larry Fitzgerald, you can't teach that. You can't teach that. Now, you get a guy like Eli Manning. He grew up in the right household, where his dad was a great NFL quarterback, and his brother Peyton can play a little bit, but Eli still had to have that touch. He still had to have that.
He reminds me of that working man. That guy that's got to keep the pressure on.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Oh, he's 2 Super Bowls.
Yep.
Takes it. 2 great catches too. Though.
Yeah.
2 incredible catches. You're going to have an opportunity. You hear Merrill right here talking to us about all these things. And that tape, is that going to be auctioned?
Yeah. We'll have that.
Goodness.
We'll have that.
Yep.
You're going to have to go against me on that one.
In fact, we'll probably have 2 or 3 of them that you can bid on.
Yeah, good.
And then I'll do a phone answering thing too.
I can't wait for this. We're going to have fun. And I promise you, I won't take his time that evening. I'll give it, because I love to ask questions, but there's so many people.
I love to talk football. I really do.
That's the best part about the Captain Party.
I mean, people say, well, you're Al. I mean, do you go up to a doctor and start talking about your diseases? And I say, you know what, football is, it may be my profession, but it's also my passion. I love it. I mean, there's 2 things I never tire of talking about, football and golf.
Well, you certainly have both of them. You call the Eagles games, and you know what, I'm trying to think, who called the Eagles games before you? And I'm an old guy, I can't remember.
Well,
I don't know.
the person that I replaced was the late Charlie Swift.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That was with 2 games to go in the
You've been calling the game since when?
Since with 2 games to go in the 1977 season.
77, yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yep.
John, back to you. You get the last word.
We want to see everybody come out and support us. General admission is $5. You're welcome to join us at the door. If you are going to come to the Patrons Tailgate Party, please make your reservations ahead of time.
And that's $20?
$20 starts at 5 o'clock, and that's when you'll have a chance to schmooze with Merrill.
John, I thank you so much
for being here today. For all your support all the time.
Well, I thank you for what you're doing, and it's so, Merrill said it, giving back to the community, and certainly that's what we're doing.
Yep.
You have the absolute last word.
Come out and see us, and it'll be a great night. It's a fun night, and we look forward to it, all of us.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
God bless you. Happy Passover, happy Easter to everyone. Until next time, everybody. God bless.
Who says you can't go home? Who says you can't go home?